you. I said I heard you.
God damn. It's not like I don't have ears. Shit. God damn it. Look, it ain't my fault. Now, I'm not from Oregon. Okay, I'm from Texas. And as soon as people hear my accent, they look at me like I'm some kind of alien. Okay, I get it. My voice, it makes me different. But I'm from here. Not from, but from. There's a difference between Portland and where I'm from. Portland folk don't think about us at all. If it ain't about that goddamn city, you don't matter now, do you? You can't get no satellite out here. Ain't no radio. The only time they give a damn is when it comes to them wolves. Conserve the wolves, they say. Conservation's king. Well, let me tell you something. These ain't no cuddly creatures, and this ain't no goddamn Hogwarts. These are top predators. Sprint at you to sink their teeth in you. Yeah. Reflective eyes stalk you in the snow. Are they monsters? No, they're gods. But they multiply like hell. Every second's another generation. These wolves was dumped here by people that don't live here. Bastards just dropped them off and drove away. What we supposed to do? Now, I'm a grown man, steeped in my fair share of nightmares. But we're talking about, we're talking about going out into our pastures and, well, I got sheep with their ribs ripped wide open, calf hearts half eaten, mule guts everywhere. Fucking massacre. And I love my animals like I do my child. Out here, you gotta protect your property. It's all you got. But now it's big fines, kill a wolf, go to jail. That makes sense to you? Conservationists. Don't know their belly buttons from the buttholes. This nitwit from Oregon State come down and say, sir, sat me down with my wife, straight-faced, and told me that wolves is good for the ecosystem. Something about helping the beavers. I said, excuse me, sir, this ain't about no goddamn beavers. This is about property and money-making property. This is about living like we do out here on the boundary between the known and the unknown. It ain't all bad though, city folk. We get these wolf tourists. They pay top dollar to come out and hear the wolves howl. Sometimes my wife and I, we like to mess with them. They come out at night in their SUVs. We'll get drunk and we'll howl. Howl! Then we'll duck over that hill when they flash the lights. My wife, God, I love her. She's one hell of a wolf. But city folk, wouldn't trade places with them in a million years. Not all bad. Not all bad. There's a fellow in Lake Oswego. He owns a car lot there. He has one of them tall, flailing, flappy, crazy inflatable air tube men on his lot. Thought it might scare them wolves off. It didn't work. But it's the thought that counts. My wife, she is cool. She'll make us these smoothies. See, she's into them psilocybin mushrooms. When we had that inflatable dancing man, we'd watch that sumbitch for hours. High as hell. Him tall as a god above us. Half inflated, flailing against a rainy sky. Had us so happy. There's this one time we got high, went out on the quad, singing like hell. Her voice vibrating through a cashmere sweater into my chest, and me singing back into her body. The warmth, the fuzziness, the vibration, timeless. And she's wild too. She'll go up that creek, falling all over herself, picking herself back up, barefoot in the rain, smiling back at me like I'm young, like my life actually matters. Reason we get on so well together is we don't talk politics. Too much talk will ruin a beautiful life. Now she was a Trump gal. I know. I was Bernie all the way. I had this made just to piss her off. Now we don't talk about it. I just wear it at breakfast. And she knows. Big Bernie guy. Nah. Politics don't figure into our, whatever we got. Marriage. We just shut up about it and live our only lives. We got bigger fish to fry. Nah, don't mean them wolves. Trust me. Wolves ain't what keeps me up at night. There are things out here, there are things out in this country that scare the shit out of your ball sack. And it ain't wolves. See, we raise these prize bulls. We breed them. $5,000 in their prime. It ain't the bulls that's worth that kind of money. It's the future bulls and the bulls' balls. It's about sperm. Heredity. The future is buried somewhere in the balls. And that's what you're paying for. To breed the beauty forward into the future. Like you do your children. Well, lately, we've been having these problems. See, we go out into our pasture to our animals, and we find them mutilated. And not by no wolf. Had this prize bull abandoned. And someone, something, somehow cut Bandon's eyes right out of them sockets. Nothing but a fly buzzing around a dried up hole. And they took his tongue, too. And somehow, they cut his anus clean out. Took his stomach, drained his blood, and took his art without disturbing the other organs. Whoever, whatever did this, must have had hands like these. Just last month, my wife goes out to our heifer, Millie, find her lying there. The smell would make you puke. And her eyes was cut out with a clean and steady hand. Only this time, it was cauterized. And hot heat held to her mouth. How they did that? They cut her udder out, took her blood or did something with it, and just left her there. No footprints, no tire tracks, no bullet holes, nothing. Just left her. Deflated. No face, no future. I know what you're thinking. Aliens. We come out here, get away from the city, get away from people, to get away from politics. We come for the peace of mind. And now we got aliens? That's just fucked up. Crimes against the future. You can't defend yourself against something you can't see. Now that's what keeps me up at night. My daughter, she wants us to come stay with her in Portland. Says she's scared for us. Pardon my French, but fuck her. My daughter sucks. Now I love her. I do. But by God and holy hell do I hate her. We don't talk to her. We see plenty of each other, it's just that we don't talk. See, she's one of them influencers, social media gal, always on the phone. We go out to Portland, which we do not like to do, but we do because apparently that's what a good parent does. And we go, we sit, she's on her phone, we eat the meal, pay the bill, drive on home. See, my daughter, her career is taking pictures of the food she eats. I'm serious. And she makes a damn good living at it, too. Never asks from us. But Christ, she's as boring as a blue pair of jeans. So get this. My wife says if we're going to make that trip, we might as well take some of those mushrooms before we go. So there we are, right? Out comes the phone and nothing to talk about. And I know it's not all on her. It's a two-way street. But when I say, Ashley, baby, what's new in your life? Are you dating anyone? She makes even love talk boring. See, Ashley's she's a lesbian. And she's always chasing women that don't respect her none. She's stuck on people that don't want nothing to do with her. She doesn't value herself. I tell her, Ashley, you ain't gonna find love unless you love you. You gotta protect your heart, like it's your property. But she don't want to hear it. So yeah, my wife says, next time, let's take mushrooms before we go. So we drive all the way to Portland to eat in one of them food cart community places. Phone comes out, pure silence. Only this time, it's high on mushroom silence, so it's hilarious. My wife, she starts giggling. And then I start giggling because I catch it from her. She leans over to me with this big old smile on her face and says, "This is our fault. Funniest shit I ever heard." Can't exactly say why. I just knew exactly what she meant. That this silence, this stranger sitting opposite us, was our fault. That our daughter was our fault. I guess you just have to be there. I tell Ashley, I say, Ashley, you gotta lower your goddamn standards. Else you end up alone. Compromise is key. Can't get what you want? Most times that's a blessing. You think my wife was my first choice? Look at me. You think I was hers? You think she woke up one morning and looked around and said, "Oh, I want that one right there"? No, she shrugged. Life makes you shrug, so she shrugged and said, "I'll take him." After decades of betrayal and trying and crying and failing and flailing, she gave up. Said, "Okay, Abner." That's how you end up not alone. We got a good sex life, though. You know what Joni do? She pulls this big old rubber mat in the spare room. Then she'll mix us up a cup of whiskey sours. Then we take off our clothes and we wrestle. You ever do that? Wrestle somebody that loves you like hell? I don't let her win, but she will if she wants to. And I love that about her. Now, you think I knew that's what I wanted in a woman? Life reveals itself to you, but you have to be open to the blessings, not rigid and stubborn like Ashley. Ashley's new angle? Narcissism. She says Joni and I are narcissists. I want to say, Ashley, we adopted you out of the goodness of our hearts. And because we have a lot of love to give. And well, my balls suck. Too many years of riding them big bucking bulls. My sperm don't squirm. So we invited Ashley into the fold. And we said, you're one of us. Now she's got balls calling us narcissists. And she's got a camera set up watching herself eat 3 meals a day. Isn't that what a psychologist might call narcissistic? I've been called cuddly. And I've been called the son of a bitch. And I've been called a cuddly son of a bitch. But a narcissist? Ashley says she wants to have an authentic relationship. Wants to live a life based on truth and not lies. I tell her, you want to live a life based on truth and not lies? What the hell are you doing in Portland, Oregon? Girl is wacky as a 2-headed hamster. You want narcissistic. You want psychologically unfit to parent? That was my daddy. He weren't cuddly. God rest his soul, but may he burn in hell. My daddy was a highway engineer down in Lane County. We lived on the Oregon coast. The boundary, he'd call it, between the known and the unknown. Poetic sumbitch. He used to say, Abner, the unknown come at you. Get in your face. Then he'd do one of those. He'd say the unknown is the scariest thing in the known world. Especially when you're out on the boundary. You got to be prepared. There's this one morning. I was trying on this sharp tuxedo for my senior prom. It had this big old purple corsage. And I hear him come up the stairs. I could still hear them boots creaking on them heavy planks. He pushed open my door, and I'm in front of the mirror. He walks up behind me, looks me dead in the eye through the mirror, and says, "There ain't no prom tonight, boy." He was always doing this to me, ruining my plans last minute like this, just because he could. I said, "Why, Daddy?" I knew there weren't no why. There was never a why, but I just had to ask why. He looked like the devil, standing behind me, staring at me through the mirror. Said, "The unknown has presented a problem." I said, "Please, Daddy, no more riddles." And he shoved my head into the mirror. Cracked the glass good. I was bleeding. Told me to get my goddamn ass in the truck. He stopped in the doorway on his way out, turned, smiled, and said, "Stay in that tux." So now, we're driving down the highway, and he tell me a 45-foot, 8-ton whale done wash up on the shore at Florence Beach. Some bitch too big to haul off the beach. Can't cut it up, can't burn it. Now mind you, I'm just trying not to cry. Staring out the window thinking, what's my date gonna think? That I stood her up? Daddy says, "Don't you cry, this is what life is." So we pull up. I see all these wooden crates stacked up high. Get out of the truck and the stench nearly knocked me on my ass. And I hadn't even seen the whale yet. I said, "What we gonna do, Daddy?" He just burped and said, "Gonna handle it." Bastard had me out there with his co-workers, hauling crates of dynamite up to that beached whale on my prom night, and me still in my tux. The plan was to blow it to smithereens, let the wind carry it out to sea, have the scavengers handle the rest. As soon as I got up to that thing, I puked. Horrible smell. It's still in my nose. Ain't it funny how memory works? My daddy was a sadistic. He gave me this shovel, then told me to shove this shovel in that there whale, boy, and then in that hole, put these sticks of dynamite. Now, I'm really puking now. Plus I start to cry, which makes him ashamed. So he come up on me again. "You better put these bombs in that blubber, boy." What kind of man says such a thing? Well, we finish. We're standing way back in the dunes, about to blow the sumbitch up. Whole town come out to watch. 3, 2, 1. A huge bloody sand cloud rose. Everybody's cheering. Cheering didn't last, because pretty soon, huge chunks of whale blubber come raining down like hell. Everybody's hollering, everybody's running for cover. My daddy grabbed me by the arms and said, "Don't you run, Abner. What's the lesson?" And I said, "What?" He said, "What'd you learn, Abner?" And I said, I don't know. He turned his head up into the gruesome rain. Dark whale blood splattering on his face, and he says, "Should have buried it. Should have buried it." Well, I broke free, and I ran. till a chunk of whale blubber hit me upside the head, knocked me out cold. I woke up in the cold sand. My daddy had left me there. Had to hitch home. I walked in the front door. He didn't even take his eyes off the TV screen. I said, "Why, Daddy? Why'd you leave me?" Just shrugged and said, "You'll understand while you're a parent." Miserable bastard. He killed himself years later. In my room. Sitting in front of my mirror. Blew half his head off. Staring in that mirror. Now that's narcissistic. I left a note on my bed. Simple note. Just said, "Sorry, Abner." See, his name was also Abner. So I never knew if he meant sorry, Abner, or sorry, Abner. Either way, it's the only time he ever apologized. And when I tell that to Ashley, she says I'm making her pain about my pain. And I'm not. It's not an excuse. It's a lineage of bullshit. It's an inheritance of hurt people hurting people. But you tell that to Ashley and you're a narcissist. You know, I gave her, I tried. You know, she was a goddamn orphan. Her mother was a crack whore. Ain't nobody want her except for me and Joni. We gave her a future, and now we're narcissists? If we're so bad, then why? Why after them cattle killings does she want us to come live with her? If we're so narcissistic, why is she still inviting us to dinner? Why does she still talk to us if we're so bad? That makes sense to you? And I understand my daddy now. I really do. He was trying to tell me you get what you get and you deal with it. Out of the unknown come all kind of shit. Wolves, whales, aliens. Didn't plan for it, but here it is. Didn't ask for it, but here it come. It's what you get and what you do with it. That's who you are. But you only really know that when you live out in nature, out on the boundary. What the hell does Ashley know about the gods? You gotta settle. Sometimes you settle for lies. You agree to say, that's what you got? Fine. Is it enough? No. But let's pretend it is. Maybe you can't have an honest, open relationship with your parent. Question is, what will you settle for? What's second best? What's a notch down from perfect? Because that's where life is. That's where I am. But when I tell that to Ashley, she just says, "Okay, Abner." Doesn't even take her eyes off the goddamn phone. Just says, "Okay, Abner." I want to tell her. I want to say, what? You think you was my first pick for a child? You think I didn't even want a child that looked like me? You ain't even the same skin color as me. Now, I'm not racist. I was Bernie all the way. But you're black, Ashley, and that's fine. But you didn't come out of my balls. I just mean that you ain't mine. But I accepted you. I took you in my arms, and I said, this here's my girl. See, I settled for you. Second best was fine with me. I want to tell her. I want to say, Ashley, baby, please, there's still time. I could still pass my life on to you if you just look at me. If we could find some bargain, some way to talk. I'm a doorway from the past, and it flows through my eyes into yours. But you can't see it if you don't let it. Let me pass my light on, girl. I'm sorry for how I was. Sorry if I was bad. I didn't mean it if I was mean or strict. I was trying to protect you. Like my property. I tried. No, I didn't. Now I'm lying. But hey, babe, okay. Listen, Ashley. Honey, babe. I ain't never hated you. I always loved you dear. She has a right to know. Now, I'm not a villain. But when we adopted Ashley, she wasn't Ashley. She was Naima. Now look, I have an accent. I know what you think as soon as you hear me talk. As soon as I start talking, I know you're thinking, he's over there. He's not one of us. Now out here, if you're a black girl named Naima, Joan thought that the name would make the name would make Naima, that changing her name, it would make her life, it would let people see her through that name, through that dark skin. We were trying to. If you don't want things to explode into a million pieces, you better bury it. She has a right to know. Joan says that it will ruin our relationship. I say, what relationship? I don't know that girl. Joan says that it'll fuck her up mentally. I said, Joan, I think we have that about covered. She knew this when she was in kindergarten. I said, that's great, honey, but you gotta color yours in. She said, why? I said, because you're black, baby. She asked me what that means, and I wanted to say that people will look at you like you're some kind of alien. But I'm her daddy. I couldn't say that. So I told her it was fine. Just leave it the way it is. Leave it white. She brings this up every time we take her out to dinner. One time I came downstairs. I said, just wanted to... I asked my daddy, do you hate me? I just wanted to hear him say it, so that everything that came before would make sense. Well, this time he took his eyes off the TV screen and he looked me in the eye. He said, "It's you that hates you, Abner." Bastard, always hiding behind bad poetry. Fuck. Maybe I should give Naima a call. Let her know how I fully feel. That's a bad idea. You know, whales communicate across the world through the ocean just by singing for each other. They must be gods. Thank you all. I feel a little bit better.
Okay, Abner. Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be eating some donuts. I've been getting a lot of requests in the comment section, so I thought I'd bring some in. My favorite one is actually the powdered sugar, but I have coconut and chocolate to try, just to see. Okay. I've been getting a lot of requests in the comment. Hey guys, it's Ashley. Hey, how's it going guys? It's Ashley. Hey guys, it's Ashley. Hey guys, it's Ashley. I'm Ashley. I'm Ashley. Hey. It's Naima. It's Naima. Hi guys, it's Naima. Hi, it's Naima. 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 Naima.